Alright, this is a side-by-side comparison of the Looking Glass Portrait from a couple years ago and the Looking Glass Go, which has basically just been released. Obviously the Go is smaller and more compact. It folds down into a relatively small package. The Portrait is a little bit chunkier. It has this stand which has a single angle. You can remove the stand if you'd like. They're both externally powered via a USB-C connector there. I have the clear case Go, although you can typically buy this with a white plastic instead of the semi-clear plastic. Obviously the Portrait has a larger screen. The resolution is about the same on both of these screens, and the viewing angle is about 60 degrees for both of them. So I think this guy looks slightly brighter. It's probably about the same amount of brightness with a smaller screen. It looks a little sharper, but I think that's just because the pixels are smaller. The resolution of these two are basically the same. I think this one looks a little nicer. I think the screen might be a brighter screen, maybe a little higher quality screen. Maybe even the optics are a little better on that one. But they do about the same thing. In standalone mode, I cannot figure out how to get this guy to play animations. It may not play animations in standalone mode. You can put animations on that guy in standalone mode. If you're using it with a computer that has a USB DisplayPort alternate output, so if you can export a display via USB-C, this is a single connector, whereas this guy here, you need to connect in an HDMI port and a USB-C port for power and video if you want to use it as kind of a 3D monitor for your computer. The software supports them both. Basically, if you have a strong enough GPU, and it has to be a decent GPU to support it because you're rendering, 20 or 50 views continuously. It's basically streaming 4K at 30 frames per second. So if you have a strong enough GPU, you can render 3D video out on either one of these guys. Now, this one has been reduced in price to $200, whereas MSRP on this guy is $300. And you'll probably be finding lots of these Portraits out on the used market. Now, as a standalone kind of picture display, this guy has a big advantage that it's connected to Wi-Fi. It syncs over Wi-Fi, so with a phone app or the web app, you can drag new blocks or new holograms onto it, and they'll just appear in its playlist automatically. So if you're using it as a picture frame and you don't want to have to plug it into your computer to sync, this guy you have to load up the software, which only runs on Windows or Mac, to sync holograms over to it. So with it attached to a computer, you can play animations. I don't know if the standalone mode will play animations or not.